Hello everyone and welcome back to another math tutorial video. And what we're gonna basically do today is something fun. We're gonna prove the quadratic formula. But now there are some things that we have to consider. So what is this weird looking square diagram actually? Well, that is actually the method of completing the square. Because we want to find the roots of because we want to find the unknown roots of an unfactorable polynomial. We can substitute this part of a quadratic equation into something like this based on the parameters that are listed. So let's say that you have something like this. So if you're kind of lazy, you might as well have to factor it out. So the first thing we're gonna do is do the sum and product method. So what we're gonna basically do is we're gonna find two numbers that sum up to this number that multiply to negative 16. So I think that's gonna be 8 and negative 2. And this is your final answer right here. But what if we try completing the square instead? Well, the answer to that is okay. So before we do that, we have to first understand this diagram first. So x squared plus b. So that x squared plus bx basically means that we are trying to find the area. We are trying to find the area of that square over there. So where does this 2 come from? Well, x plus b. So that x plus b half comes from this and also this one. But why is that a b half actually? Because we are basically splitting the bx rectangle into 2 pieces. So therefore, I'm giving us this rectangle those rectangles right here. Now let's just jump back to using the complete square method on the same polynomial we just worked on. So now there is one thing I have to consider. You have to there is one thing that you have to consider. You have to write down the method based on the parameters that are listed here. So if b is 6 right here, it is going to be 6 over 2 and 6 divided by 2 minus 6 divided by 2, and this is squared. Now since we always solved that segment. Now since that we have solved out the segment over there, we can leave out the 16 right here. And now we're gonna move this to the side right here. So 6 half is gonna be 3. Clean it up. 16 will be right over here. And we're gonna move this over there. $16. Okay, so 16 plus 9, that's 25. Square root of that in order to get the 2 roots of the formula right here. So since we took the square root of 25, that's gonna be the absolute of 5. Why? Because when you take a square root out of a number, it can either be a negative or a positive. And these two are gonna be like a positive number. Just like the difference. Now we're gonna move this over there. So the first root of this equation right here is going to be 2, whereas the other root is going to be going to be 8. Oh, wait, xy should be negative 2. Or yeah, I think I might be wrong. Oh, yeah, my apologies. Yeah, it should be 2, and the other root should be negative 8, and that's your final answer. And ta-da, we have finally completed the square. And what about proving the quad? What if we worked on something like this? By completing the square. Well, now the only objective to do is to construct the quadratic formula, which is the type of formula you see in every high school, where you have to find the two unknown roots of an unfactorable quadratic equation. So because we want to set y to 0, because we want to set y to 0, we have to look for the roots. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get x squared by itself by dividing both sides by a. So and again, because we want y to be 0, we have to leave the 0 over here. So that a denominator is gone. And the next thing we're gonna do is use the same method we used on the polynomial right here. So based the parameters above, that's gonna be x plus bx over 2a plus that should be minus bx over 2. Wait, that should have a that should have an x over there. My apologies. This guy goes over there. Square this guy over there. And now we're gonna move this guy over there. And now we can define the common denominator. Now we can turn this, and now we can actually subtract that by getting the common denominator, which is going to be 4a squared. We're gonna do this by multiplying this guy by 4a in order to match this denominator right here. Now we're gonna merge this together. And now we can square root the perfect square. It can be square rooted. Except for this part. And again, when you take a square root, and again, when you take a square root out of anything else, it can be an absolute value. It would be an absolute value. So 4a squared is going to be 2a. Move this guy over there. And now since they have the same denominator, we can merge these two together. And ta-da! We have finally constructed the quadratic formula. Let's go! And yeah, I know it may seem boring, so yeah, like because I tend to be quiet every time when I do a little bit of math. It's just the fact that I have to concentrate in order to get things done correctly. So yeah, my apologies for the silence, and yeah, I hope that actually helped you understand how completely the square works and how the quadratic formula was constructed. So yeah, I think that's all for the video, and thank you for watching this boring tutorial, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned. And yeah, that's all for the video, and I will see you in the next video. Adios, my fellow learners, and happy learning.